All right, welcome back, EC members and audience members. This is Kenneth Ellington. On deck, I'm the founder and CEO of Ellington Cyber Academy. I think everyone knows who I am at this point, or at least I hope so. So today, Marquisha will not be on. She's having her own workshop for her own company, for Sire. So she will not be on today. She'll be back on with us probably next month. I'm more likely gonna have 2 more events before the year ends, probably one in October, one in November, that we'll do. One will be technical, one will be more career-based and career-focused, such as this one. But Nigel should still be on, and so will, I think, Dominique, if he's able to make it. For now, it is just me. Let me check LinkedIn. I want to make sure there's no issues with this whatsoever. All right, cool. We are live. Perfect. Again, if anybody has any questions, as always, just drop your questions inside the chat. That's what we're here for. So for today's talking points, we're going to be covering a couple of different things, primarily how to use LinkedIn and some of the do's and don'ts. That is probably one of my biggest asks I get for anybody that wants to do cybersecurity or wants to join one of our programs. People honestly are pretty awful at using LinkedIn a lot of the times. They don't really understand how the platform works or how or why they should use it. So we want to cover that. I was going to go over an interesting point someone made on comments about me and Marquisha from last month, but since she's not on, we'll wait for that treat for you guys, probably end of October or November when she comes back on. So for now, I'm going to be covering different aspects of how to use a platform, some of the best practices you should do for it. So again, if you guys have any questions about how to use LinkedIn, please drop your questions inside the chat. Again, that is why we're here to help you guys out with this. So please do not be shy. So first question that I'll ask the audience, for those that are currently here, I know people trickle in, would be, who here believes they're pretty good at using LinkedIn? And who here has success using LinkedIn to gain jobs? So I'll ask that again. First question would be, who here believes they are successful at using LinkedIn pretty well, right? And then who here believes they use LinkedIn pretty well to gain jobs, or that LinkedIn is beneficial for them trying to gain employment? So feel free to drop your comments in the chat so I know. And then I'll go over what my perspective is for using LinkedIn for my career so far. So I would personally say LinkedIn has been extremely beneficial for me landing roles within cybersecurity specifically. Most of the jobs that I've gotten have been through LinkedIn or have been through referrals directly. Meaning one of my friends, one of my contacts knows the quality of work I can put out and they referred me towards a job and then I got the job. Or nine times out of 10, I met someone on LinkedIn, they became close connections with me, and then they referred me towards a job. Or I got a contract because someone, again, knew the work I did, and then directly reached out towards me. It happens a lot. That's how I get most of my stuff done. That, or I'll meet somebody in person or in real life, right, at a marketing event, and a networking event, a nice dinner, right? And then we'll build like a rapport on LinkedIn and continue the relationship there. That's also something that's been really helpful and really beneficial towards me in that regard. Most jobs are filled on the back end, and what I mean by that is majority of jobs are not ever posted. They're honestly not. Especially for much more senior positions, most of them are never posted. Say 80% of them already have candidates before the job gets posted, right? So If people don't know what you can do or know who you are or know what value you can provide, it makes it harder for you to stand out and be successful. So that's why I tell everyone, excuse me, to build yourself up on LinkedIn, to help to market yourself on LinkedIn or on any platform. Honestly, I like LinkedIn because it's the most business professional out of the bunch, even though it's still changing, right? So making sure you have the ability to actually market yourself and brand yourself is extremely important. But that's how most jobs get filled. A lot of my recruiter friends tell me if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, they won't normally connect with you or give you or reach out towards you. I know everyone isn't like that, but I know some recruiters are like that as well. So I just tell people just have a LinkedIn. It's just be more professional, right? If you're able to create one. I'll pause for a second. So I'll ask my questions again. Who here thinks they're pretty good at using LinkedIn? And who here doesn't? It's okay if you're not good at using LinkedIn. That's what we're here for. You can drop your comment or questions inside of the chat. I know colleges do not do a very good job of teaching you how to market or brand yourself. From my personal experience going to USF, that's something I really wish that's something I wish they fleshed out a lot more. So I don't believe they did a really good job for that. It was kind of like you're on your own for it, or more focused towards like general business, and it wasn't really that niche for how they did it. So that's something I really wish they fleshed out a lot more. There's Nigel.
What's going on?
Look, you weren't sure. You didn't throw it away. Good.
No, I didn't throw it away.
It's everyone. Welcome, Nigel. Nigel, normally my co-host for a lot of my podcast and AM stuff. He works at Granger. He's a threat intelligence lead. So he's often my co-host for a lot of stuff we do. Again, he's also my threat intelligence lead for that as well. So any questions along those lines, feel free to ask him. So Nigel, for today's topic is primarily LinkedIn. Markeisha is not on with it today because she's doing her own thing for her own company for their session. Today was the time for it, sadly. So we're gonna have 2 more sessions before the end of the year. One will be more technical for like threat intelligence, threat hunting stuff.
Mm.
The last one will be this one. I'll have everyone on though.
Okay.
So I asked the audience who here believes they're good at using LinkedIn, who here has been struggling with LinkedIn, and how to brand yourself, like market yourself. So I asked them to drop their questions inside the chat, so we're able to actually help them out. Let's look for our first comment. This is from Josephine. As a woman struggling to land a job in cybersecurity due to limited pay and inability to afford global certifications, how can you support someone like me and gain opportunities despite these challenges, even though I have the skills? Josephine, I would first ask, where are you located at? And that helped me give you a better sense as to what to do. Because you said global certifications, which makes me feel like you're not from the US. And please correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, if you're outside of the US, it's going to depend on your local market, right? If you live like in Singapore, how they run cybersecurity can be slightly different compared to how they run in the US, right? And how everything is structured. So just keep that in mind. Just let me know, Josephine, so I can better answer your question. We have another one from Dominique. I've had a decent amount of traction in my career success. About 4 to 6 roles are dropped in my inbox monthly. But I think my limiting factor is in landing a senior manager, director role. Gotta build my brand a bit more. So I'll also ask you, Dominique, what do you currently do for your job? Because it sounds like you're in a senior manager role, director role. You're probably like a manager or lead in the sounds of it. You're trying to go towards a director role. So you're I guess you're in a better spot than most people. You have already been in the field for a decent amount of time. I'm gonna guess if you're if you want to be a director, probably like between 10 years or so, 10 to 12 years. So I'd ask you specifically, what within cybersecurity do you currently do? And then like what role as a senior manager are you trying to aim for? And then what industry and field? So for those you don't know, or it might be common knowledge, I'm gonna say it anyways. The higher up you go, the less of those roles those are, right? But there's only so many senior manager, director roles inside of firms, right? Same apply global CISO roles. Not every company's gonna have that, right? There's literally only like probably 500,000 of those roles inside the country. So your pool of jobs is a lot smaller, right? Compared to if you're like a mid-level engineer and analyst. Let's see. LinkedIn user's not showing me for some odd reason. Why is it blocking half of it? I use LinkedIn, but lately I've been off of it as I'm studying for my CISSP.
That's so funny. I was literally just studying for that.
Or were you?
Before the call. Yeah, I got the book right here.
I have to take I have to renew my Splunk certification, so I have to take another like data admin class to renew admin everything below it. But I'm like taking 3 exams again, so I'm just gonna pay like $1,000 to take the class. Because Splunk is god awfully expensive, which is why I started ECA. I'm gonna do that, yeah. And then I have to get for my clients, I have to get a Kubernetes certification by end of like June of next year sometime. So I'm gonna do that too. But yeah, if you're, so I would say, I should put this. And it's okay if you guys are studying for certifications. I would still try to be on LinkedIn and still try to reach out to people. Because the best time to look for a job or to build connections is when you don't need it, right? Because you'll come off as desperate. So my thing in my mindset has always been, Nigel, is I'm assuming I'm gonna get laid off or fired one day, right? I assume that's a part of my career, right? Journey, right? It could be not because of my fault, could it be the company's not doing well, or someone doesn't like me, but I get laid off or get fired, right? I assume that's going to happen. So I've always moved with that type of mindset, especially over the past like 2 years, and I prepared in that manner that hey, I may lose my job one day, so I need to build my relationships up and build my skills up, just in case.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's also why I built up other assets as well, so I'm not solely reliant on this one source of income.
Yeah, I think to build upon that, I think that you should always is a strong word. You should be wanting to level up and specialize as you progress in your cybersecurity career. And what I mean by that is as you go along in your career, you're going to start to realize and figure out things that you like and you don't like. So if there's things that interest you while you're currently in your career that maybe is not specifically what you do, you should look into those things and try and upskill in those, whatever the domain is or whatever the skill is. So as you continue to be able to market yourself better, right? That is when you are able to demand a higher value and build your brand more so you can pivot. Or to Kenneth's point, if you get laid off, you have now already have your base skills from what you do, but you're adding on top of that with what you can learn. So you should look at every interaction outside of your day-to-day job as a way to upskill in your current role.
Yeah, especially for those early career professionals, that should be number one priority to try to upskill and better yourself. That should be your number one priority, honestly. Build connections, build relationships, put yourself out there. Because you guys don't have really anything to lose, right? So don't be shy. Just do it. Worst thing that happen is you probably get told no. Best thing that happened to you is you land a job, a new friend, and a new opportunity. So if you want something, just go after it. Hold mouth, don't get fat, Nigel. So if people don't seem to understand that.
They will.
Let me see. Josephine puts, I am not from the US, I am from Nigeria. Okay. I know the market in Nigeria is different. I have a lot of students that are from Nigeria or that are first generation Nigerian people that live in the US. So I'd probably refer you towards them. You guys can look up like Justin Derulo. He's from Nigeria originally. But he is my instructor and he is a beast. I call him LeBron James because that's how good he is. So definitely reach out towards him. I'll drop his thing inside the chat, actually, so everyone has him. You can probably ask his experience about how he navigated that landscape. So let me do it here. Let's see. Next question from Chrissy Niebuhr. I get so many questions about how to get started in cybersecurity. What advice would you give someone looking to take their first step? What a great question, Chrissy. I appreciate that. So I would say first steps would be like understanding like what your why is. And what I mean by that is like why do you want to do cybersecurity above anything else? People often tell me money, which I say is fine, but I tell them there's a lot of ways. There's a lot of other ways you can make more money than doing cybersecurity, honestly. So, like, why specifically do you want to be in this field? Like other than money. That's the first question I would ask you. Because if your why isn't strong enough, you can't overcome anyhow. And if you can't do that, then you're not going to be successful inside this field. So if you're able to give me a concrete answer, or anybody, right? You can put in the question. If anybody's able to give me a concrete answer towards that question, I can then give them specific steps and strategies as to like what to do exactly, right? Next question I would ask them is, what field within cybersecurity do you want to specialize in, right? Because as Nigel knows, there's different fields. There's penetration testing, it's application testing. There's like reverse malware engineering. There's SIM. There's SOAR. There's blue team. There's endpoint security. There's automation work as well. You're being a security software engineer. So different fields you can be inside of for cybersecurity. So I would then ask that person, what area within cybersecurity do you want to be inside of? If they tell me, hey, Kenneth, I actually want to do threat hunting, but I want to be like a GRC or SOC analyst, for example. I say, cool. At that point, I can then give them specific paths and an example to go down, right? Nigel can probably speak towards this. Most people don't ever reach that stage. They'll say, Nigel, please help me get inside cybersecurity. And then you're like, okay, well, what part within cybersecurity do you want to do? I don't know. I want to do something with computers. I'm like, okay, that doesn't really answer my question. So like narrow down like what your focus actually is, and you should be in a better spot.
Yeah. Obviously Kenneth's gonna be a lot nicer, so I'm just gonna give it to you honestly. The first steps is going to be one, figure out what you want to do. Do the research before you reach out to a whole bunch of people on LinkedIn and come across all these TikToks and YouTube pages. Do your own research. Take your own initiative. That's going to set the bar. Once you figure out what you want to do, so to Kenneth's point, what domain, whether it's GRC, SOC analyst, threat and vulnerability management, whatever it is, from there, you find someone in that field. That's when you go into LinkedIn and you start networking. Find someone who has credentials or someone you feel like you can connect with or someone who offers mentorship, whatever the case may be. Find someone in that field of what you want to do. Reach out to them, send them a message, be like, hey, I'm interested in this field. This is what I want to do, blah, 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 blah. Someone may reply, someone may not. Oh, well. From that point on, once you find a mentor or someone in that field, you ask them for a roadmap. I want to accomplish this. How do I do that? If there's someone who's credible and is in that field of what you want to do, they should be able to give you a roadmap on exactly what you need to do. In that 3 steps I just gave you, that is a lot. From that moment on, turn off the YouTube, get off of social media and go do that work. Like, go do that. Whatever they tell you or whatever they give you, go do that work. You don't have to get on every day to feel like you're missing out or you're not making progress. Go do the progress. As you're doing the progress and you're accomplishing whatever the roadmap is for you to get to where you get, you continue to network. You continue to find like-minded people and people that are already in the field who can continue to give you advice in that. While you're doing that, you build your LinkedIn, you make it more marketable, you create a brand, whatever that case may be, you create a brand in that field, okay? And once you create that brand and you have that engagement on LinkedIn, make sure your resume is on point. Make sure you're doing labs. So if you're trying to get into a field you have no experience, the best way to show your experience is by doing things, right? So as you're doing that, continue to document it, showcase it, and keep in touch with the people that you're networking with. Don't just reach out to them when you want to take something. Build the network. Your network is your network. So if your network is weak, your net worth is probably going to be weak as well, or you're going to be surrounded with people who aren't elevating you. So that's what you need to do. It's very simple. But the main thing I said at the beginning is once you get the roadmap, disappear and go do the work. No one do the work, post it, disappear. Do the work, post it, disappear. But you have to do the work. Asking a whole bunch of questions once you've got a clear roadmap, you're just delaying it. It's called analysis paralysis. Go do the work.
Yeah. So that's very well said, Nigel. I often see people ask for advice. I think they call them assholes. And then they'll just and then they and then they won't really do anything. Which is why I don't know if you saw the Twitter stuff with Oracle, the Oracle discourse. People arguing about getting the Oracle certifications. But my thing is that's fine. If ultimately if you want to specialize in Oracle and that is your goal and that was already in your roadmap, that's fine. But people are just want to jump on the bandwagon and they want to do AWS 6 months ago and they never actually learned that. So now they're trying to switch up because it's a hot new thing, right? Which isn't going to help you. So have a goal in mind, have certain things you need to do, and then stick towards that for a long period of time to actually test it out. And then go from there, which most people don't do. So let me see. Cabron. I'm glad to see Cabron is here. Cabron, don't be afraid to ask me questions. I know you have them. You always ask me questions during their calls. Dominique puts, yes, I'm currently a lead, about 8 years experience, currently in GRC, cloud architecture, AWS, Azure, FedRAMP, RFM in particular. I wish Marquisha was here. Marquisha could help you out. I would say, Dominique, reach out to Marquisha. She can definitely help you out. Marquisha Smith. I'm gonna drop her LinkedIn here too, so you guys have it. But definitely reach out to Marquisha. That's where she specializes in. I'm gonna guess you're probably in the DC area from the sounds of it. Sounds like GovTech. Yeah, Dominique, definitely reach out to Marquisha. I put her LinkedIn inside of the chat for you. All right. Cedric puts, I'm an IT specialist with a TIA A+, Microsoft Security Operations Analyst certifications, but it's so hard to jump into cybersecurity. Any advice? Oh, damn, I'm gonna ask everyone here. I'm gonna guess, are you guys based in the US? If you're not, just let me know. But I'm assuming you're based in the US. If you're based in the US, I would say, what have you tried to do, right? You tell me you have some certifications, which is cool, but what else have you tried to do? Where do you currently live, right? What are your ultimate goals? What area within cybersecurity are you trying to get inside of, right? Well, those would be the questions I would ask you, Cedric. So let me know, so I'm able to give you a better answer. But I don't want to give you a generic answer. So if you're able to give me that information to drop inside the chat, I'll be able to give you a better answer. Yep, Dominique is in Contra County. Yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely reach out to Marquisha. She'll put you in the right spot. Because I don't do our RMF stuff. That's not my area. Oh, and another point. It's okay to say, guys, that you you don't know what to do, right? I'd say that pretty often because I honestly don't. I'm like a GRC expert, so I'm not gonna lie to you. Make something up. Which I see people often do in interviews, which you've probably seen as well, Nigel. But they'll make stuff up and just tell me you don't know, man. Don't lie to me. And so it's okay to say you don't know something, right? That's perfectly fine. I'm not a GRC expert. I don't do RMF. I don't do penetration testing. Those are not my areas of expertise. That is okay. That's why I have Marquisha and other experts that help me out with that too. So it's okay to say I don't know. Okay. Cedric came back towards us. Cedric wants to do cloud security and he's based in Kentucky. Okay. Cedric, are you ex-military by any chance? As well. Kentucky isn't the best cybersecurity market out there because it's Kentucky. No offense to anyone that lives there. I've never been there, so I can't say. But I know it's not the biggest job market out for cybersecurity jobs. So you may have to move eventually to land the role that you want to trying to get. Keep that in mind as well. If you want to do cloud security, I would say pick a specific platform. Doesn't matter, honestly. I'd probably pick AWS or Azure. They have the biggest market share. Sounds like you're already more focused on Microsoft from the certifications you got, so just focus on that, and then learn how that platform works, learn how to use it, learn how to actually build it, scale it up, design it, manage it, and then learn how to actually explain it towards other people. And then develop connections, like Nigel was saying, within that sector. So we're the people that do AWS or Azure cloud security. Talk towards them, ask them how they got their jobs. Ask them if you're the one asking for help and that person is above you from, like, let's say, like a job standpoint or a career standpoint, you're the one that has to give before they do, right? So, for example, if Nigel went towards LeBron James and asked him for help, if LeBron James said no, his life will be perfectly fine. It will not matter if he doesn't help Nigel out. So he needs to understand that, right? So he needs to be the one that's want to give a lot more than LeBron will give initially. So understand that when you're asking for help from someone that is of a higher standard from like a career standpoint. Yeah, those would be the things that I would tell you. So like first thing we would do, I would suggest probably doing Azure from the sounds of it. Focus on that. Build projects out, design them, scale them up, actually manage them right. From there, document your process. You can document it like Nigel did, like on YouTube or LinkedIn, to track your journey, and then build connections within that sector for cloud security, and ask people how they got about doing their jobs. Anything to add, Nigel?
No, I think that's the best way. Make sure it's genuine, be as genuine as possible when you're building this relationship. I think the biggest thing is following up after the initial ask or communication or conversation. I used to I guess I kind of still do when I meet someone that who I want to network with, I guess. I'll set reminders to follow up and stuff, like on my phone. Like I'm that locked in to where I want this relationship to grow and I don't want it to fizzle out, because I know in the long run it'll be beneficial for not only me but them as well. Hopefully I can add value to them as well. So it goes back to what I said, the work. Like, if you want to just send a regular old LinkedIn message like everyone else does and sends me one, okay, and then we have the initial conversation and then I don't hear from you, I'm not going to lose any sleep. So it's all about the work you're going to want to put in.
Yeah, being consistent, right? Because I get the question a lot, Nigel, especially from a lot of my students. They'll get upset, right? Because someone won't respond towards them in a timely manner, and then they think in their mind they're trying to diss them. I'm like, I tell them, like, imagine that person is me, and you'll know how busy I am. You think I'm like, oh God, Nigel trying for help? Oh, F this guy, I'm gonna mess with his head. No, that's not what happens, right? I'm just busy, right? Because I have 10,000 things going on, so understand that. Like, just keep checking up with them, ask them questions, right? They continue to do that over and over again. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But don't take it personally, because it's not personal. I promise you.
Yeah, we don't know each other. I mean, you would just be it would be all self-inflicted. Like if you take it personal and you're hurt while I'm just at a conference for a whole week, not just working, and you think I'm trying to leave you on red. That's not the case, right? Sometimes I need that message to come back to the top, or whatever the case may be, right? I don't think you should take anything personal when you're trying to build that initial relationship in the networking. Just do it. Sometimes you'll get it, sometimes you won't.
Yeah, I get it. Could people get in desperate situations? So like they're hungry, right? So they want the opportunity, but you have to have that type of mindset, right? Again, like worst thing someone can do and tell you is no. Like that's it. All right. If that's the case, then just move on. Go to someone else. Just how the game is. Let me see. Another question. Joyce puts, hello everyone. So I know cybersecurity is very broad. How does one choose an area of specialization? I would say like just do a bunch of stuff and see what you hate and see what you don't hate, which is what I did. So when I entered into Publix back in 2019, I was in the threat intelligence side, which I loved a lot. I also did like detection engineering too, and malware analysis and threat research because my job was awesome. I shadowed every single department inside the entire security team. So I did GRC, cloud security, DevSecOps, networking, security architecture, and then red teaming. I hated red teaming. I'm like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. This is awful. GRC seems very boring towards me. Cloud security didn't interest me. Things that interested me a lot were security architecture, security engineering were the two biggest things I want to do. So I focused my time on that. So I'll just say if your current job allows you to shadow, I'll definitely shadow them. If you don't have a job within cybersecurity, just try doing a bunch of different areas first to see what you like and see what you don't like, and then like narrow your focus down from there. And let's go from there.
Yeah, I would say on SANS, SANS, you can search like SANS top, I think it's called the link, I don't remember. It's called like SANS top 20 coolest jobs, right? And what it'll list like some of the most common jobs in cyber. So I would say look up what those jobs are, whether it's a threat hunter, a SOC analyst, a GRC analyst, threat and vulnerability management. Look at what those jobs are, look what they entail, and see if some of the characteristics that you enjoy fall in that. I think that's the easiest way to do it. And then this is what I would do. I would do that. I'm currently a graduate student. So yeah, if you're currently a graduate student, I would, wherever you go to college at, I would figure out what kind of resources you have to see what type of like career, what do they call it, like career help or whatever the case may be, to see like, can they provide you with resources on what kind of jobs they're in cyber. So don't think, oh, I work in cybersecurity or I want a job in cybersecurity. Okay, that's one word. Then be like, okay, what is the domains in cybersecurity, right? There's like security architecture, there's threat and vulnerability management, there's engineering, there's GRC. Figure out what domain interests you. And then once you pick that domain, you'll be able to figure out if that you kind of really niched it down, and that will give you a good foundation.
Very well said. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you guys how to actually reach out to people on LinkedIn since we're on this topic. So let me share my screen. Share screen. Yes. All right. Let's say my ultimate goal is to work at Splunk, which it is. Let's say that's my ultimate goal. So if I want to work at Splunk, here is what I would do. I first understand what role within Splunk I want to work at, right? My goal is to be a security solutions architector. So what I can do is this. I can type in Splunk, right? But please, for the love of God, please take a look at the company page and understand like what they do. Because Nigel, I guess so many people that like ask me questions like, Kenneth, like, so what do you do exactly? And I'm like, you ask me, I'm like, you ask me for help though. Shouldn't you already know this? Anyways, this is my first world problems. So again, I understand what the firm does. I actually research them. Know what value they provide, right? Know the things they focus on. I know Splunk very well. A lot of my friends work here too. I've been using the product since I've been like 20 years old. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in Splunk Security Solutions Architect. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to people. And here's what I'm going to do. And I'm not ashamed to say it as well. I'm going to look for people that are black and that look like me to make it easier. Just being honest, I'm much likely to probably connect with me. Am I lying? Am I Nigel?
No.
Exactly. So, I'm looking for brown skinned people, and I'm not ashamed to say that either. I can also filter down by Dallas, right? She's not working at Splunk. Why is she coming up for me then? No. Oh, I can actually, you can filter that by current company. Splunk or Cisco. It's easier. Let's see. Oh, that's a decent amount of people. Let me see. He works at Cisco as a engineer. No. And I'm just going to scroll down to find a person I want to get. Or I'll pick a random person, that's fine. Smoky Kingdom. Let's do locations, United States too. I keep on filtering down to get what I want. I want to break LinkedIn. Let's see here. Here's Splunk. Let's see. There we go. I found my target. Oh, and he's XEY too? Oh, God. This is gravy. When do you want to wear EY? How far will it go? All right. Then you know of my pain. This is gravy. Here's what I'm going to put. All right, Nigel, break down for the group what I did here exactly.
Well, I actually want to highlight what you were doing as you were finding your what you call target. I think what's really important as you're going through trying to network is, as you saw, he was going through 1, 2, 3 pages finding someone who he felt matched what he was wanting to build and have in his network, essentially, right? And that is part of the work, it's part of the grind. Like, there's many ways you can go about it, but the way that he kept filtering, the way that Kim kept filtering down, shortening his criteria to then finding someone that he possibly worked with in the past as well, just proves that these are the little steps that you have to do that may be tedious and repetitive to build that network, right? Because, for example, Kenneth doesn't know, like, this person, send this message, make this connection. This person can get Kenneth a 100K job next week, for all we know, right?
100K? These positions pay like 300K, Nigel.
I meant like 100K more.
Oh, okay.
No, I know you big baller, Kenneth. No, don't. I already know. But yeah, that's what I wanted to highlight. Is it's not an easy process. It can be at times, but in the end, it's going to be worth it for sure.
It's not complex. We're not curing cancer. It's just hard to be consistent to do this. Like, do this every single day, right?
Yeah.
Every single day for months on end to try to land a role that you want to do, right? Over and over again. Very boring, very tedious. Continue to do it even though you're bored and you're tired, right? That's the thing when people don't understand. Because most people here can probably do this for like a week, but most people can't do it for 6 months straight every single day, right? They probably can't, all right? But I can't, and I will do this because I have done this in the past. That's how I'm like that's how I got a lot of my jobs. Like that's how I met Nigel, right? That's how I met Markeisha. That's how I met a lot of the contacts that I have. I just continue to do this every single day and every single night. This is part of my routine. So again, these are the steps that I do, even though I have multiple contracts and I run my own business. So if you want to do this, this is what the work has to be put in. So I'm gonna copy this. Hit send. And then I'm pretty sure he's gonna connect with me, right? So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna filter this down even more. So what I'm gonna do is, let me see. There's a bunch of different ways you can do this as well. I'm gonna probably filter this down by, let's see here. I wish people had profile pictures so I can see. Let's see, Roger Berg. Here's Cisco, not Splunk. Let me see certifications if it has it. No, it's just Cisco. It's not Splunk guy. So what I'm gonna do?
Why are you people at Cisco as well?
Say again?
Why did you add Cisco to your search as well?
So when Cisco merged with Splunk, or Splunk merged with Cisco technically, a lot of people changed their profile thing to be Cisco instead of Splunk. So I'm also putting that in just in case.
Okay. I knew that, but just for the audience.
For the audience, yeah. So let me see. Another target, Nigel. Another brother. Actually, hold up. Let me do research. Hold up, guys. I'm not gonna be sloppy. Let's see. Oh, that is awesome. Watch this. Awesome. Pull it correctly. There we go. What I do here now, Nigel, I changed one key thing.
The name.
Oh, you're right. Thank you, Nigel. I would have said send. But I was saying though, I changed the bottom of this. So the reason I did this was I'm gonna hit send. He worked in China years ago, right? So by me putting that means I actually took a look at his profile, right? So he's gonna be like, oh crap, I think I actually took some time to read myself. All right. So that's gonna go a long way for him to actually hit connect. The key details do matter here. Isn't that right, Nigel?
Always.
Little stuff. Because Nigel, if someone put in their connection request, I saw that you worked at that warehouse like 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. You'd be like, oh wow, the guy actually paid attention to my profile.
Yep. Like I said, what do you want to do? What is the work you're gonna put in?
Think about it this way, guys. If you don't do it, someone else is going to do it. So that's kind of reality of it. That's how it is. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do one more thing, then last thing will be questions from the audience. Last filter I'm gonna put down will be location. So let's see here, United States. Location. Tweet Texas. I'm gonna filter down. I'm just gonna be Texas. There's a lot of solutions architects in Texas for Splunk. It's crazy. It's over 100. It's insane. I'll pick someone in Texas. Let's see. Let's see. You go back. Let me do this. Here we go. She's in Dallas. Let's see. Do I know her? No. Familiar though. Oh, what can I use? Let's see. That's you cyber engineers. Let me use that. All right. Oh. So I switched this up. I couldn't find anything that was too specific from what we did together, so I just added, we're both a part of nonprofits. Yeah, that is how that is done, guys. So again, very tedious, but it does work. I promise you. And I could filter down even more and just do purely Dallas people, because most likely they actually want to meet with me in person. I could meet with them in person eventually, and go from there.
Yeah, doing meetups in person if you're able to is good as well. Or go to meetups in your city, whether it's B-sides, small get-togethers, things like that. Those are very important and really good way to network.
Yeah, so don't be shy about it. If that's what you want, go after it. So this is the mindset I have. My mindset has been, if I don't do it, someone else is going to do it, and I'll get the money and salary that I want. So that's how it is. All right, so 10 minutes. Anybody have any questions for me or Nigel at all? Open floor for you guys.
Are you excited about your B-sides?
I am. I still need to. Well, I'm technically already done with my talk, my training. I need to combine the slides from my various slide decks. That's about it. And I need to add. And I might have Grace edit it, but I'm basically already done with it. So I'm very excited for my mom. My mom actually coming out to support me, so she bought a ticket. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't really planning on going on Friday, but then I saw your talk is on Friday. So I was like, oh, I guess I'll be going.
One second. One second. One second. But is your training session on Friday too, Nigel?
No, mine is actually on Saturday.
Saturday? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll come. I get there Thursday afternoon, like late morning. So I'll be staying like in downtown St. Pete.
Cool.
Yeah.
Matthew said, can't forget, practice the art of being locally world famous. Yeah. I would say yes, but also be famous to the people who you need to be famous to, right? There's been this thing lately where where everywhere I go, they're like, "Oh, you're famous and you're on podcasts and doing all these things." I'm like, in all honesty, I'm just really supporting the people who are in my network. Like, I'm not really doing it to be famous or anything.
Don't lie to me like that, Nigel.
No, I'm being completely honest. I mean, now I'm slowly developing my brand more, but initially, all the podcasts, all the people, like literally just supporting them because I like what they're doing. So in turn, I've built a network with them. They built a network with me. I've been able to help students of theirs, and that's just how it is. Like it's genuine relationships. So I say all that to say, yes, you want to be locally famous in your city, and that could be you just going to all the meetups in your city and you're networking. So when you show up, they're like, "Oh, there goes Kenneth, that guy who wants to get into cybersecurity, who's networking and coming to all those, like they're gonna know Kenneth when he walked through the door because he's locally famous in his city. He wants to get into the field. There might be one meetup where he comes in and everyone's like, "What's up, Kenneth? Kenneth?" And a CISO at for Microsoft is there. He comes to this meetup for whatever reason, and he notices that everyone's going to Kenneth and saying, "Man, Kenneth," and he asks. You see somebody like, who's Kenneth? Like, oh yeah, he's actually looking to get a job. He's really versed in Splunk. He has an engineering background and Simmons SOAR. Oh, really? Yeah, we're actually looking for a Simmons SOAR here at Microsoft for Sentinel. I know you don't want to do that, but like, for example, boom, and then those are how the conversation starts. I've seen it at conferences. Like I'm sitting there talking to someone at Palo Alto or whatever, someone that I know, and there's just someone that met me via LinkedIn or whatever, and they come up to me, like, "Oh, hey, Nigel, I saw you on the podcast, blah, 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 blah." And then when they leave, the person I'm talking to, they're like, "Oh yeah, who is that?" They look, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, they're actually looking to get into cyber." Boom. That's how simple it could be at times. I'm not saying that's how it always works, but those are how you get your name in the room. Right. So that's just one example. Cause like, you just if you're gonna rely just on your resume, good luck. that's what I'll say.
It's not 2010. That doesn't work anymore. And then LinkedIn user, I think it's Lacey. We're picking a B-side St. Pete this October. And then again, guys, any questions you guys have, just drop into the chat. Still have another 6 minutes. So again, do not be shy.
You shouldn't be shy. We're through the screen. Like I can't even see you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you have questions about cyber or anything, this is how I took advantage of when I wanted to get in the field. I had no background, no prior experience, nothing. So working at a warehouse. But any opportunity I had to speak to someone in the field, I made it very intentional. Like the whole journey for me was strategic. Literally, it wasn't just like applying and no, it was very strategic. I'm going to work here. I'm going to network with this person. I'm going to put this out. I'm going to do this. Very disciplined. So like when things happen, it wasn't like, "Oh my God, it happened." It's just like, "Oh no, I planned for this. So you have to be intentional. And my biggest thing is like, get out of your way. Stop analyzing everything. You're going to have imposter syndrome forever in the field. The minute you start not having imposter syndrome means that you are getting left behind. Like the people who don't want to touch the cloud that have been in security for like 20 years. When I bring up an S3 bucket, they're like, what is that? So like you don't, so you're gonna like want to always, you're gonna always learn. So get that out the way. You know, like I'm never the smartest person in the room. I talk with architects, directors, people in the field for all the time. But I'm as best as I can SME in what I do. So you need to have that mindset and just do the work. Like, and then ask questions. Like I said, I was asking questions like Day, Henry, you know, like, hey, like just like looking at their content, but like getting away, like taking what I need to take and not going down a rabbit hole of just watching YouTube videos on how to get into cyber. Like go learn something. Like know what a command line is. Like do something. Do you think it's better to move because in some states
Cedric, yeah, good question. You think better to move because of something there's zero cyber jobs?
I like what you always say about this. Like so it's like depending on where you're at in your life. So that's more of like a personal kind of thing. Kenneth always says like if you're single and stuff like that, or most people, and I'm not just single him out. Most people that I used to talk to early on, they would say that too. Like, you know, if you're able to move, then you should move.
You move.
Not just for the job, but also for the life experience.
Yeah. So yeah, I would definitely say if you're young, you're single. The reason I say that is because you literally have, if you're like 22, say you're 22, let's say you're 20, 22, 25. You really have nothing to lose, honestly, Nigel. Because the thing is, right, if it doesn't work out, what's gonna happen? You'll be broke and have nothing, which is what you were previously before you moved. So you didn't lose anything. All right. So again, just take that chance. Because 9 times out of 10 is probably gonna work out at least in a decent way. You'd be a better spot than you were previously. So again, if you live in Kentucky, you live in like Wyoming, and you want to do cybersecurity, you're probably gonna have to eventually move. It's this reality of it, right? Again, if I want to be like a world-class fisherman and I lived in Nebraska, I can't complain. There's no jobs for fishing in Nebraska. That's not how it works. I have to move. That's just how it is. So again, if an opportunity comes up to take the job, and you live in Kentucky, and then you have to move towards, I don't know, Tampa, you have to move to like Charlotte or something, I would move. If you can, all right. Which most people can, it's just uncomfortable for them to do, so they don't want to do it. So I'd say move. We have time for one more question. Anybody have any last minute question for us?
This is better than the YouTube video, I promise. Or the TikToks you're gonna see about
day in my life.
Day in the life of a cybersecurity analyst. I wake up and I go run. I saw days I laughed. I was gonna message him and be like, "Oh, don't." I mean, he could do that, but anyways, like day in the life. I wake up at 5 a.m. I run. Then I go work at Starbucks. After Starbucks, I go work at the Marriott Hotel. Oh man.
And people, because they can only show certain things. So people are like, all they do is just sit and eat breakfast and lunch, and they go home. Like they can't show their actual jobs, they get fired.
Yeah, and I would question, and not to get too deep, but I would question someone who would want in security who would want to record a day in their life of their like what they're doing at their job. Like I've seen creators who like break out the screen stuff like that's cool. But like I would just talk about it. Like I don't need to show you. Like we all know what working is. Like we're working on a computer. We're not doing anything special. Like I don't know. Maybe I get it. It's content. I don't want to be like the Grinch, but it's like Like, what are we doing? Like, get off. That's why I keep saying, get off those videos. Go learn something so you can have the free time to do what they're doing.
We'll ask my question, then we'll end for the night. Nadine, plus what advice would you give to someone looking to move from a SOC to senior analyst or threat hunter role? Biggest thing that separates junior, mid levels to seniors and leads is taking on more responsibility and making your manager lives easier, right? So doing stuff without them having to ask, right? Being able to lead projects, being able to lead different assignments, being able to take on that extra work without being asked and just doing it and doing a good job of doing it, right? So if being a leader is your goal, you need to be able to actually take on those extra tasks and then do a good job and then be able to actually explain and help other people do their job as well. For in a nutshell, specifically, let's say you want to do threat hunting. Threat hunters have different mindset from the standpoint of they question a lot more stuff, but they're still able to be disciplined in what they look at. Because with threat hunting, you normally form a hypothesis and you'll just focus on that. There'll be other shiny things that might catch your attention, but your job needs to be to focus in on that one thing to be successful. Nigel?
Yeah, I mean, as a senior analyst, Kenneth touched on most of it. You got to be a go-getter. You got to be someone who can handle projects. You have to be a point of contact for whatever. So if you're a senior threat hunter, like you would be a what we call SME, subject matter expert in that specific role. Threat hunters, a threat hunter essentially is trying to find a needle in a haystack. You are looking for the anomalies that maybe some of the security controls that the company has in place isn't catching, right? So like at that role, you have to work very autonomously. Like you have like your manager is going to be like, hey, here, and you probably have to set up KPIs, documentation. You have to be a self engine that runs and reports to your manager and says, hey, this is what I found. This is what I've done. This is the metrics. This is how we quantify it. This is how I keep my role. Like these are the things that you have to do. Like your manager's not going to come up to you as a senior threat hunter and be like, all right, this is how many hunts you need to do this month. And like you'll have a roadmap of what the business expect or the security program. But after that, you're on your own. Like to Kenneth's point, I make my manager's job easier. Like when it comes to whatever the department you're in, they should be able to come to you and say, all right, I have my metrics or board or whatever coming up. Give me what you got. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not as analyst who may be an escalation point or, things like that. I think from a senior threat hunter, you have to be able to work autonomously and be able to deliver at all times.
Yeah, for my job, once with senior threat hunter, that's how it worked. I meet my manager like once a week just to do an update. Otherwise, I could do whatever I need to do to get my job done. They just asked for documentation, which I put in my team Slack or team channel so I knew what I was doing. On my reports, so my queries that I used, the articles that I read to pull this from, test it out, right? Screenshots. But otherwise, I could do what I need to do, and no one questioned me, which is very nice. I had a lot of control over my day, a lot. So I've run a one-step but everyone can't handle that properly. Some people need a lot more structure and guidance to be successful.
Yeah,
keep that in mind. Because there's some people that will just say do nothing unless they're like told what to do specifically and given a roadmap.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I just don't want that.
I don't either. At first, I do. If I'm like a new hire, I want that guidance. Like, hey, I'm like, what is expected from me, right? Like, I'm like, what is a good job? What is a bad job look like? But after a while, I'm like, okay, I understand like what I'm supposed to do. I got this. But if you're like a year in, you shouldn't need. If you're a threat hunter, you shouldn't need almost very little guidance. You should be able to be self-sufficient and know what to do. You shouldn't be asking manager 10 different things. You should be very clear at like what the roadmap is for your corporation. And you should go out and hunt and do it report back for what you find. But that is it for today. So quick updates again. We're gonna have 2 more sessions before the year ends, probably end of October, either end of November, probably start of December, before the holidays start for Christmas and New Year's. So those invites will be going out probably in the next couple of weeks, as well. For my potential future students that are watching today, we're gonna be fully expanding out ECA. So I'm going to be bringing in Nigel eventually, probably start of Q1 next year, to teach threat intelligence inside of our normal rotation for classes, as well. So he'll be doing that too. Moving forward, we also are SentinelOne partner, so we just got SentinelOne licenses for you guys as well. So those that want to do specialize in XDR and threat hunting and threat intelligence within that platform, it's super cool. We have licenses to give to you guys to use our platform for that. So anybody has any questions about like what we do or wants to book a call with us, just let me or Nigel know so we're able to get you settled in. Otherwise, that is it for today, and I'll see you guys in October. Thank you again.
Thanks, everyone.